Hello everyone and welcome to our YouTube re-upload of our Charlie Stubbs character profile taken from
Conversation Street, episode 35.
Yes, this is ages ago, way back in early 2013 when we recorded this, around the time that Kirsty was terrorising Tyrone and we were harkening back to a previous domestic abuse storyline, and now it seems like now's about the right time to re-upload it because we've got some pretty horrible stuff going on between Yasmin and Jeff. No, I really enjoyed Charlie as a character, did you?
Oh, yeah, he was a villainous cad.
He really was, a real charmer as well.
We don't condone domestic violence.
Oh, no, of course. But I did enjoy, I remember enjoying reminiscing over some of his great stories. And he wasn't in the show for a long time, but he came in hard and fast and made a big impression. Then he left just as hard and fast at the end as well. So if you also enjoyed Charlie Stubbs, if you've never heard of him and just wondering, who's this guy that Tracy keeps going on about, bragging about murdering, then we have got some facts for you. Gemma?
Live fast, die young.
Exactly. Here comes our character profile on Charlie Stubbs. Okay, it's character profile time, and as we said a few weeks ago, we're now going to be alternating between current character and classic character because we're running out of current characters already. So this week, as we've had the domestic abuse trial storyline reach its conclusion, we thought we'd cast our minds back to a similar storyline back 10 years or so ago, and we've got Charlie Stubbs as our character profile.
He's a wrong-un.
He is a total wrong-un, and he was the one that was really playing mind games with Shelley, and
he was great.
Although he didn't beat her up, he was definitely mentally abusing her. So we thought we'd have a look at him this week. Charlie was born on the 17th of November 1971 and he died on the 15th of January 2007. An episode we remember very well. He had a brother called Eddie, a child called Holly, although he never knew her. No. He first appeared on the 10th of November 2003, and obviously the last appearance was on that 15th of January 2007. He was in 415 episodes, and he was played by Bill Ward.
All singing, all dancing Bill Ward.
Yeah, now see him on stage at the Spice Girls musical. There are many tickets available. His first appearance was when he needed a car parking space for his bulldozer, but Mike's Jag was in the way, so he got in his bulldozer, lifted it out of the way to make room.
That's the way to make an entrance.
That was a big entrance, yeah. 2004 was when he started this relationship with Shelley Unwin, who was a barmaid at the Rover's Return. I can't remember whether she was manageress at the time or what there. And throughout this relationship, he just isolated her from family and friends. Shelley was good friends with Sunita, and he was sort of playing mind games with her, saying things like, "Oh, Sunita, I heard her insulting you behind your back" and stuff. So she was really under his control.
She had a lack of confidence to begin with, didn't she?
Yeah.
And I think that he played on that, and
because she had been quite a strong character.
She's bubbly.
She was bubbly, and she had a strong front, but she was kind of quite fragile. And then he saw that, played on it, and she was turned into a gibbering wreck by the time he'd finished with her. He was very unfaithful towards her during their time, and one of the first people that we saw him playing away with was Shelley's mum, Bev. He then guiltily admitted the truth later. She told Shelley that what have I done? I've slept with Charlie. But he denied it, and then Shelley believed him, which sort of helped to drive this wedge between mother and daughter.
And isolate her even more.
Yeah. He also tried to make the moves on Liz McDonald, but they weren't reciprocated. Liz was like, no. So he persuaded Shelley to sack her. Liz then briefly left for Brighton. She went to go and work with Bet Lynch, or Bet Gilroy, whatever she was calling herself then, who had a bar there. And then when Liz returned, he tried it on with her again, just see if it could be any more successful second try.
He's such a charmer.
I know. So she left to go and work at the Weathy Arms.
So Shelley became more suspicious of Charlie straying, and she got so paranoid that she accused Gail of having an affair with him, but she had to beg an apology from Charlie afterwards.
Yeah.
He rescued Sunita from the burning corner shop.
Yeah, which is probably the one good thing that Charlie did.
Why did you do that for?
He was there.
And Shelley told Dev that Charlie would rebuild the corner shop for cheap.
Yeah,
as a favour.
Yeah, he didn't like
that. Without asking him first, and he got angry.
Yeah,
and,
she had to give another grovelling apology after that.
Yeah.
That really, all throughout the relationship, he was the one that was sort of doing wrong, but making her feel like she was the one that should be apologising. Yeah. Nasty.
In December, she secretly met with Bev.
Yes.
Because they weren't talking. And Charlie found out about it and made her phone Bev up and say that I don't want to see you anymore.
But Bev told Deirdre to keep an eye on her for her.
Yeah. Because Deirdre's a very keen observer.
Oh, yeah. New Year that year, I remember this. Charlie bought this dress for Shelley that was obviously too small for her because Shelley, although she wasn't fat, she wasn't kind of like one of these stick-thin barb. She was curvaceous. He used that as an excuse to try and get her to lose weight, which worked. I mean, she then started deciding that she needed to lose weight. She needed to go on a diet. But in any case, he gave the dress to Jason, which he gave to his girlfriend Violet, which really humiliated Shelley. Obviously, seeing this mate wearing a dress that was bought for you, but you couldn't fit into it.
Well, Violet was extremely small, so there's no way Shelley would have been able to fit into that in a short amount of time at all.
No.
And it kind of reminds me of what happened with when John was having an affair.
Oh yeah,
and
with the knickers.
Fizz and
Rosie.
Yeah, the pants got swapped, and that was humiliating for Fizz because she was given a pair of pants that were far too small.
Yeah, lots of people at this time didn't like Charlie, and it was a bit different to Kirsty, who everyone was always been on the side of. But Betty was suspicious of him, and once she heard him ordering a sealant gun over the phone, but Betty thought that he was ordering a real gun, so she called the police on him, and then I guess
it was all a misunderstanding.
Although Charlie was never sort of really, really physically abusive to Shelley, he did open a door in her face once. Well, apart from that time when do you remember when he pulled the earrings out? Oh, that made me wince.
They're very hesitant to go full physical with a man hitting a woman because it would be quite distressing.
Yeah.
Whereas it's okay to kind of have a woman slapping a man around for some reason.
But when he did open a door in her face, he then hid her away to hide the marks, and that was...
I remember that. People were like, where's Shelley?
Yeah, she became a total recluse, didn't she?
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah, it was brilliant. She thought that getting plastic surgery and getting married would make things better between her and
so
Charlie.
her state of mind had been reduced so much, and she felt so little of herself that she thought she had to get plastic surgery to kind of gain his approval.
Yeah. In September, they were going to get married.
Yeah, because she asked him to marry her after all this that she'd been through. She still wanted to get married, but when they came, but I think she started seeing a psychologist beforehand, and he gave her the strength to ultimately jilt him, which is a fantastic Corrie scene, and very brilliant when she said no to him at the altar, and then Bev was like, "Oh, Shelley, well done." Yeah,
yeah.
But he then kidnapped her and drove her around Weatherfield for a bit, but she was like saying, "No, I've had enough of you," and so that was the end of that relationship.
Petrol's going to be expensive.
But he didn't sort of mourn the loss of Shelley for long.
To be honest, I don't know why he bothered hanging around with her for that long, really. I don't think there was any love lost between the two of them.
Yeah, he just liked to be in control. Yeah, he liked the power trip.
So
he started dating Tracy,
yeah,
which is not the person you date if you want to be in control, because we know what Tracy's like.
In 2006, he asked Tracy to move in with him, but he didn't really want Amy hanging about, and so he told Ken and Deirdre that Amy would have to live with them. Yeah,
Tracy by this time was interested in having Amy living with her, because for a while she didn't want to know Amy. So she lied to Charlie that she was pregnant, and so he was like, "Oh no, right, have an abortion, here's some money." So she went and bought some shoes with the abortion money.
I don't understand. Do you have to pay for them then? I thought it would be on the NHS.
I don't know. I don't know.
I suppose they very often say, "I want to get it done privately because it's less stressful," or something, don't they? Anyway, the stress of this abortion was enough to convince Charlie to let Amy move in.
Yeah, so Tracy's one
evil plan worked.
Yeah, 1-0 to Tracy.
He found out eventually and hid one of the shoes in revenge. Now, that's just evil.
Now, Keith Appleyard, which is a name that I had to look up, but apparently he was in it for a year and a half or so. This was Craig Harris's granddad after Angela Harris went to prison for supposedly murdering Tommy, but she didn't. But anyway, he was in it, and he was looking after, I think, number 6 at the time. And there was Charlie had changed the tiles on the roof or something.
Yeah, you changed the tiles. It's like changing the oil.
Them or whatever, I don't know. And then
he wouldn't pay for it.
He wouldn't
basically
pay for them. So Charlie took the tiles off, and then he bought the house and evicted Keith just to twist the knife.
That is alpha male. That is.
Yeah, Tracy. Charlie's original plan was to then sell number 6, but Tracy was like, "Oh, we should move in there. It's quite a nice house." So they were moving. They were now moving into one of these nice houses, one of these nice maisonettes. Later on that year, Charlie tried to prove he was still in control of Shelley by convincing her to sleep with him, and he actually managed it. So.
That was quite kind of sad, really, considering how triumphant the jilting was.
Yeah, it was. And then Tracy was shocked. She gave Shelley a good slap when she found out.
But she said she made it up.
Yeah, Shelley eventually said she'd made it up because when
Bev was mad.
Yeah, because when Bev found out that Shelley had done this, she was like, "How could you do it? How could you do it?" So she, just to kind of calm her mum down, yeah, she said she made it up. I lied. Yeah.
So Shelley then reveals that she's pregnant with Charlie's baby, and Charlie threatens her, and she leaves the street for good.
Yeah, and so off screen, Shelley had this baby, and I'd totally forgotten about this before we did the research for this. But yeah, Shelley's got a baby, and so Charlie's got a little baby.
Charlie's got 2
he's now,
illegitimate children.
Who knows how many others that he may have? He had so many flings.
So Tracy warned Charlie that she'll make him suffer if he's straight again.
He should have heeded that warning.
Charlie started having an affair with Maria, who he'd let his flat to.
Yeah. He told her that his relationship with Tracy was on the rocks. He also staged a burglary of Maria's flat to make her rely on him. So playing the mind games there. And then David found out about it. And I think David at the time also had a thing for Maria. Yeah. And he said, "Oh, I'm going to tell Tracy that you've been seeing Maria." So Charlie nearly drowns David in the bath, which is an exciting scene. Yeah.
So this is the ending for Charlie. 2006, 2007. This is when Tracy hatches her most evil and brilliant plan yet. To start pretending that Charlie was abusing her.
Yeah.
By staging arguments, burning herself with an iron. Oh. That was painful.
Yeah.
And she also kept sort of dropping hints to people and acting harassed and nervous and twitchy and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a scene as well when around then when Charlie thought Peter was somebody that Tracy was having an affair with. Had Peter gone off somewhere for a bit or something, and Charlie didn't know who he was, so he beat Peter up, and that landed him with community service. And I think Tracy had hoped that Charlie was going to be sent down for this, but he wasn't. He only got to community service. So that one evening when he comes home triumphant that he's been given quite a light sentence, he then tried to throw Tracy out because he realizes everything that she's been doing.
Yeah.
And then the final stage of Tracy's
plan. She seduces him.
Yeah, turns up the music, does a little sexy dance, and then bludgeoned him to death with a statue.
Yeah, brilliant. That was brilliant.
That was a good. It
was kind of gross as well, wasn't it?
It was creepy. It was sickening. It was one of the more kind of chilling murders there's been on the street, just because it took the 2 whacks, didn't it?
She hit him and he went unconscious.
He didn't go on. He was just woozy, and then he kind of went down on his knees,
it's horrible.
And then she gave him the final blow, and that was really, really chilling. It was very well done.
And really, let us remember that she never really was punished properly for this.
No. Well, she went to prison for a few years, and I think...
And then she was found she got kicked out because the person who was doing the forensics was discredited.
Yeah, basically, whoever... was it Phil Collinson? He wanted Tracy back, so...
So, in the past, I've seen interviews with Coronation Street production staff and writers, and they've said that a villain is always punished for their misdeeds.
That's always that's one of the main constant rules on Coronation Street, that the villain is punished. Tracy has managed to get away with it. Although she was sent to prison, she's been able to get away with it.
She didn't fulfill her sentence, did she? And everyone's sort of forgotten it. I mean, people bring it up, but it's kind of a comedy thing now, isn't it? That they kind of watch out, her last boyfriend got bludgeoned to death. And when you actually watch it back, she was a cold-blooded murderer.
Yeah, and she claimed that it was in self-defense, But she later confessed in that two-hander episode to Deirdre that she planned it all along. So Deirdre knows just what a monster her daughter is, but still she
won't
rallies to her side.
She won't believe the worst of her in any situation. It's always, Tracy can do no wrong.
Yeah.
But
she's got to get a comeuppance. She's got to.
At the same time, she probably can be in Corrie land let off slightly because Charlie was a hideous man. Although he never went quite as far as killing anybody, so who's the monster?
Wow, indeed.
So,
I do enjoy Tracy as a character. I know lots of people do want to see the back of her, but she's good to watch.
But anyway, it's not about Tracy today. It's about poor Charlie, poor dead Charlie.
Yeah.
What did you think of him as a character then? I love.
He's one that you love to hate, isn't he? Because he was so.
Git.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. He was slimy. He was very conniving.
He had the little smirk, didn't he? That he had when he was doing something wrong.
Yeah, he was one of these kind of hunky guys that all the girls fell for, and he knew that he was kind of all that. And
he was very charismatic.
Yeah.
And it's just the sort of good person that you're screaming at, like, what are you talking to him for, you crazy lady?
Yeah.
So, that was Charlie Stubbs.
Yeah, good, very good villain.
Lady killer, killed by a lady. Hope you enjoyed that, everybody. At the time we recorded it, of course, the actor was in Viva Forever, which is probably no one even remembers that was the thing.
No,
but we enjoyed it.
It did not go forever. I thought it was great in it. And we decided to put it up this week because it coincides quite nicely with the Jeff and Yasmin storyline, another domestic abuse type story.
This one is a bit more realistic than the tale of Charlie Stubbs. So,
well, I don't know whether Jeff's story's going to end being clobbered to death with a statue.
But I bet you quite a lot of people hope that that's how it ends.
Oh yes. Now I think Charlie's quite a different kind of person to Jeff as well. He had the charms, did Charlie, didn't he? Whereas Jeff is just a nasty, weaselly piece of work.
Jeff does magic.
Well, if you like that sort of thing. He's not pulling anything out of any hats for me.
If you enjoyed this character profile, you might like our actual podcast that you can download from Spotify, podcast apps, anywhere you get your podcasts, really.
Yeah.
We talk about Coronation Street every week, and we also do things like character profiles.
Among other things.
And we're spoiler free as well.
Oh, yes.
Find us online and enjoy the rest of the channel, I guess. Like and subscribe.